program has completely been cut yet, but there's no word and there's no movement. And that was actually a big way that a lot of our local nonprofits use to help people in emergency housing situations. So that was one thing I was kind of curious about, because I just didn't realize that this funding could also be utilized in that way.
Yeah, that's a big. That's actually one of the larger sorts of types of projects they fund. But digging a little bit deeper. So for folks who don't know, so emergency rental assistance. This is like if a family has some sort of problem meeting rent for 2 months or utility bills. How are the groups you work with using emergency rental assistance?
Well, so they have to be. EFSP has a lot of guidelines around how far behind you can be on your rent, or you can't be, of course, paid ahead or things like that. But yeah, I mean, especially like in the Branson area, January and February, that's just a really tough time for a lot of families since there's a lot of seasonal employment. And then we also, EFSP funding can also help go towards first month's rent and deposits. And so, especially in Branson, again, we have a lot of families that live in extended stays and they are not able to get out because extended stays are actually really expensive. However, you don't have to come up with a deposit and the first month's rent and all of that all at the same time. So a lot of times, EFSP is really helpful, like getting people into housing. It's a little bit more extra work because working with the landlord and all of that, but that's been a way that we've used it in the past to try to get families out of extended stay motels. Because they're literally paying, maybe $1,200, $1,400 a month to live in a room without a kitchen, without a, with really no way to live or take care of their family. So.
Great, yeah, and actually that was there's 2 or 3 about extended stay hotels specifically. What would 100% housing trust fund? We see a lot less folks there. Also, increased home ownership was on there. And so, emergency rental assistance sounds like an agency you work with. It's sort of a gap funding both at the beginning of rent, right? They can afford the rent, but they just can't afford the upfront cost. Or there's some sort of emergency while they're renting, and they can't afford 2 or 3 months rent. In the middle of it, instead of them being kicked out, emergency rental assistance lets them pay for those 1, 2, 3 months, depending on their need in the program, and lets them stay in their house, and then, hopefully maybe they're a family member, or lost a job, or it's seasonal work, and so they're waiting for the next job to kick in, instead of them being homeless or into an extended stay hotel or whatever, they're doubled up, they can stay in their housing with just sort of that gap funding. And that's a big part that the Housing Trust Fund does. I saw another hand about emergency rental assistance. Anything to add as far as what you see and how you all use emergency rental assistance?
So we don't handle the emergency rental assistance funds. I just have anecdotal. I didn't have a tax breaking.
Right.
Since of course we focus on